Welcome back to 10 Trove Facts, the home of shocking truths, untold stories, and facts that will flip your brain harder than history flipped the world in the 1940s. Today, we're stepping into one of the darkest, most dramatic, and most pivotal chapters in human history, World War II. A conflict that spanned continents, consumed nations, and reshaped the future we live in today. But don't worry, we're not just reciting dates from a dusty textbook. We're diving into hidden operations, unbelievable coincidences, mad genius inventions, and lesser-known facts uncovered by historians even up to November 2025. So tighten your helmets, grab your virtual rations, and march with us through a countdown filled with suspense, bravery, chaos, and mind-melting historical twists. This is 10 Facts About World War II You Never Knew. Let's begin. Fact number 10, the war that created the modern superpowers. World War II did more than end regimes, it created the world map we know today. By 1945, two nations emerged so powerful that they shaped global politics for the next 80 years, the United States and the Soviet Union. What many people don't realize is that this shift wasn't just about military victory, but about economic dominance. The US ended the war with 2/3 of the world's gold reserves and half of global industrial capacity. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union, despite devastating losses, became the largest land army on Earth. Updated research as of 2025 reveals that the US produced more weapons during World War II than Germany, Japan, and Italy combined, all while expanding its financial influence through the Bretton Woods system. This economic boost transformed America into a global superpower, and the Soviet Union, fortified by territory and manpower, became its rival. Thus, the war didn't just end in 1945, it launched the Cold War. Fact number 9, Hitler survived more than 40 assassination attempts. Hollywood loves dramatic assassination plots, but real history is even crazier. According to declassified documents and new historical audits, updated to 2025, Adolf Hitler survived over 40 assassination attempts, some of them so close they could have ended the war years earlier. The most famous attempt, Operation Valkyrie, involved a bomb planted right under the war table. But here's the twist, the heavy wooden table leg blocked the blast, saving Hitler's life. One of the strangest attempts involved a plan by British intelligence to secretly poison Hitler's food supply with a hormone that would make him physically weaker and mentally unstable. There was even a plot to smear explosive paste on his clothing. It almost seems unreal, but historians agree, if even one attempt had succeeded, the war's entire timeline would have shifted. The course of millions of lives hung on a few inches of wood, a few seconds, and a whole lot of luck. Fact number 8, Japan's secret balloon bombs reached America. One of the wildest operations of World War II was Japan's Fugo balloon bomb program, a project so bizarre that many Americans in 2025 still don't know it happened. Between 1944 and 1945, Japan launched over 9,000 hydrogen balloons, each carrying a bomb and riding the jet stream across the Pacific Ocean, a phenomenon only recently understood at the time. And guess what? Hundreds made it to the US and Canada. Some exploded in forests, and a few even caused fatalities in Oregon. The US government kept news about them quiet to prevent panic and stop Japan from adjusting the technology. Though ineffective overall, the operation proved something terrifying. Even in the 1940s, a nation could strike across an ocean using only the power of the wind. Fact number 7, the Soviet sniper who became a global icon. If you think modern special forces are impressive, meet Lyudmila Pavlichenko, the deadliest female sniper in recorded history. With 309 confirmed kills, she became such a threat to Nazi forces that they began targeting her specifically. But here's the part many people don't know. In 1942, the Soviet Union sent Pavlichenko on a goodwill tour to the United States and Canada. She became a media sensation, even meeting President Franklin D. Roosevelt's wife, Eleanor Roosevelt. She gave fiery speeches urging Western support for the Eastern Front. Fact number 6, Churchill's cigars could have killed him. Winston Churchill was famous for his speeches, wit, and of course, cigars. But recent findings published in 2025 uncovered a shocking truth. Churchill's love for cigars nearly ended the war before the war ended itself. German intelligence developed a plan known as Operation Cigarette, a conspiracy to assassinate Churchill by poisoning his imported Cuban cigars with a rare toxin that caused rapid paralysis. Declassified MI5 files confirmed that agents intercepted the poisoned shipments just in time. Churchill smoked up to 10 cigars a day, meaning the assassination attempt could have been almost guaranteed success. Ironically, they almost killed him. This story shows how World War II wasn't just fought with tanks and battleships, it was fought in shadows, supply chains, and even smoke. Fact number 5, the Ghost Army, America's secret masters of illusion. Long before Hollywood mastered special effects, the U.S. Army had the Ghost Army, a totally classified unit whose mission was pure deception. Using inflatable tanks, fake radio broadcasts, soundstage trickery, and stage-prop artillery, they fooled German forces into thinking huge American divisions existed where they didn't. These soldiers weren't typical infantry. They were artists, sound engineers, designers, and radio experts recruited from universities and even from fashion studios. Their operations saved tens of thousands of Allied soldiers by misdirecting enemy attacks. The strangest part? Their existence remained top secret until 2013, and additional files were reviewed again in 2025, confirming that the Ghost Army was responsible for at least 20 major battlefield deceptions. In other words, they fought Nazis, using creativity. And they won. Fact number 4, the Nazi nuclear program was closer than people think. Most people believe Germany's atomic program was a mess, but updated research, 2021 to 2025, suggests they were closer than expected. Evidence from the Hagerlock research reactor and newly analyzed documents show that German scientists successfully achieved nuclear fission experiments and were experimenting with heavy water reactors. However, internal sabotage, scientific rivalries, lack of industrial support, and Allied bombing slowed progress by years. One of the biggest blows was Operation Gunnerside, where Norwegian resistance fighters destroyed Germany's heavy water production, a mission now considered one of the most important sabotage operations in history. Had the Nazis solved a few engineering problems sooner, the world might have faced a horrifying alternate timeline. Thankfully, history took the path it did. Fact number 3, the largest tank battle in history, the Battle of Kursk. World War II witnessed some of the biggest battles ever fought, but none matched the sheer scale of the Battle of Kursk in 1943, the largest tank battle in human history. Over 6,000 tanks, 2 million soldiers, and 4,000 aircraft clashed in a brutal confrontation that lasted nearly 2 months. Updated 2025 studies using satellite mapping show previously unknown trench lines, buried vehicles, and mass graves across the battlefield. These findings reveal that the battle was even larger and more chaotic than historians believed for decades. Kursk marked the moment the German army lost the ability to launch large-scale offensives on the Eastern Front. From that point on, the Nazis were on the defensive. Fact number 2, the codebreakers who cracked Enigma. If superheroes existed in World War II, they didn't wear capes, they sat in a quiet mansion called Bletchley Park. British codebreakers, led by mathematicians like Alan Turing, cracked Germany's unbreakable Enigma cipher. What's often forgotten is just how massive the operation was. Over 10,000 people worked around the clock, processing millions of messages. Their decoding work shortened the war by an estimated 2 to 4 years. Turing's innovations also laid the foundation for modern computers, meaning your smartphone today owes some of its existence to a quiet war fought with mathematics, not bullets. Fact number 1, the atomic bombs and the beginning of the nuclear age. The war ended with one of the most controversial and world-changing events ever, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But the lesser-known fact, updated with 2025 research, is that the US actually prepared 9 atomic bombs by late 1945. Only 2 were used, but 7 more were ready if Japan refused to surrender. The destruction unleashed by Little Boy and Fat Man shocked the world and instantly began the nuclear age, reshaping geopolitics forever. Recently released diplomatic records show that even Japanese officials were shocked by the weapon's existence, believing such power was impossible. The bombings ended the deadliest conflict in human history, but they also opened the door to a future defined by nuclear tension, Cold War strategy, and global deterrence. And that wraps up our journey through one of the most intense chapters in human history. World War II wasn't just a war, it was a collision of nations, ideologies, science, technology, courage, tragedy, and impossible human decisions. Even today, in 2025, new files, new discoveries, and new research continue to reshape what we know about the war. If you learned something new today, smash that like button like it's 1945 and freedom just won the day. Subscribe to Tentro Facts for more mind-bending stories, shocking truths, and unbelievable history you won't hear anywhere else. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, And remember, sometimes the biggest battles in history are fought not with weapons, but with knowledge. This is 10 Facts, signing off.